Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 20 of Podcast of Five Rings, your source of enlightenment in the realm of video games, tabletop, anime, film, and tech. Each episode of Podcast of Five Rings releases Monday mornings on iTunes and Soundcloud, now topic by topic, day by day on YouTube, with the full video releasing on Friday. Catch updates about the podcast or for other news, give us a follow on your social media platform of choice, listed in the description below. I'm your host, GM, and overseer of Podcast of Five Rings, Obsidian, joined by the wall that will not fall, Tetsuo.
How's everybody doing?
Everybody's doing well
enough.
Up here in Tennessee.
Yeah. The car that's been parked out of my house for like a year and a half has finally moved.
No more hobos for now.
Well,
has it been parked there?
it's townhomes or townhouses or whatever. So, and the homeowners association had no rules for long-term parking.
So you had a neat living next to you.
Yeah, pretty much.
There was no one in the car.
Exactly, they're neat.
Exactly, that's the point.
Oh, yeah.
They don't go outside.
Well, no. I think it was just like an extra car that just sat there. I don't know.
Well, now they're gone. You don't have to look at it anymore.
Maybe it was actually FBI surveillance this whole time.
Doubtful.
There was a dirty bomb in the car for like months.
The whole time.
It moved to someone's driveway.
So
They had just put a sticker on it saying they were gonna tow it.
Okay, so was it like on the side of the road or on a curb or something?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that thing would have got stickered a long time ago up here.
Yeah, we've been trying.
Oh, so you've been actually calling about it.
Yeah, well, my roommate has been interacting with the homeowners. They're just slow and didn't actually have any formal rules.
We got the Dark Fortune Duelist meta.
Yo! How's it going? Already asked that question. I don't want to ask that again.
Good enough.
Now I'm
Generic.
Outside of my.
I've read my card for generic intro. I'm done.
Now I'm bad. It's been a crap day now that you've asked me that for the second time.
He's broken through his defenses.
I actually tore down his walls.
Redundancy makes me frown.
Tell me how you really feel, Obs.
We'll get into some of that later. And we got the Resident Wild Card Mao back in last.
Yo.
He got hit by that blue shell.
You're always first. The blue shell would hit you.
Because I'm the one who has to do all the L5R topics.
I feel like
I've done the last ones.
I feel like
that's
Mal's
why you got
the
hit by the
strong
blue shell.
You were put into last. I mean, that is true.
Oh.
But at the same time, I feel like maybe the blue shell is, not aiming for the right person. Obs.
Yeah.
We can't throw it out
I'm
himself.
not super huge into Mario. What happens if first uses the blue shell?
You cannot get it. It's impossible.
You can't get it. Yep.
Well, what if you have it and get into first?
Well,
Well,
I don't
that's
know,
the
actually.
question.
I don't think anyone's ever done that.
Like the blue
That
shell
never
just
happened.
the
You
blue
just
shell
throw
just goes
it.
over 360 across the map and then just hits you behind.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping.
Instead of the big red button, it's a big blue button. Every time you see it, you just mash the crap out of that button to get rid of it.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to do that next time I play Mario Kart. I'm just going to sit in 8th, wait till I get the blue shell, get into first, and see what happens.
See what happens.
Play it on that
I think
50.
I think what ends up happening is it actually just fires off and hits the person behind you.
Huh.
Because I don't think the blue shell can hit yourself, so it just targets like the person it considers being the first. That's not you. But
Okay.
don't quote me on
I
that.
just want the game to glitch.
It hits the person that's in first, but can't hit you.
Error.
2017.
It's called a priority system, guys. If you're in first but can't hit first player, then it chooses the next person in line.
I just wanted to quote you after you said don't quote you.
All right, let's get into some unicorn fiction here, which Tets is going to start us off with. So go ahead, Tets.
Tell me about the ponies.
Pony time. Ride that pony.
Curved Blades by Ree Sosby. I think this is one of the better fictions that have come out so far.
I'm gonna back it up.
That's been the
I agree with you.
I've seen.
Why don't you tell us about this fiction here?
Well, do you want to just a layout of the story without too much spoileriness? For those who haven't read it yet, essentially it's following the clan champion of the unicorn, just like all of the other stories, and her prospective marriage to I think it's the Icoma
The
family
daimyo.
daimyo.
Yep.
Yeah, Icoma. Okay. And there's some drama that happens due to this. The Icoma family daimyo's wife current wife ends up causing some problems for the champion, and kind of makes her question what it means to be unicorn in the Empire. And in doing so, the dialogue between her and her essentially right-hand woman really lays out what it means to be the unicorn, like really points out to a lot of their purposes. In this case, specifically, they were sent out of the Empire 200 years ago to learn about
No,
the world outside of the Empire. What?
they got back 200 years ago.
Yeah, it was like 800.
Yeah, 800.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were sent out around because back.
Yeah, you're right.
Back in the
Start.
day.
After Fu Ling was defeated.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they went out to learn about the lands outside of the Empire. Came back and brought with them the cultures and the technologies, in this case curved blades, that they had learned in order to bolster the Empire's defenses. And the whole kind of core of the drama is that the Lion, who are very, very traditional and very rigid in their traditionalism, are trying to force the unicorn to be more Rokugani, and the unicorn are saying, no, this is what the task we were given, we came back as this is who we are. It's kind of the core of the story.
Well, yeah, the unicorn and the lion got off on a really bad start when the unicorn returned.
Yeah. I think mostly because they were given a lot of what was lion lands when they came back, correct?
What was unicorn land, or the Kirin lands?
Yeah. So the Kirin left. The Fox clan was supposed to inherit. They were basically going to be like, we're going to watch over the unicorn land, or the Kirin lands while the Kirin are gone. And the lion came in like they do. Matsu screaming, saying, "Nope, we're going to watch these instead. We're bigger. We're more strong. We're obviously better suited to do this than a minor clan to literally watch like a seventh of the Empire's like area." So of course that happened. They run the Kirin out. So when the unicorn come back, not only do they have this like Gaijin kind of technology and these kind of ways of thought and ways of living that directly, like you said, Tets, conflicts with the Lion's sense of tradition and upholding that at all costs. So I think it was a good dichotomy to have it be an arranged marriage with the Lion that gets kind of kerfuffled here a little bit.
Right. Yep.
Just for contrasting purposes.
Well, yeah, because it was to wrap up, war between the two, sort of.
Yep.
Or it's sort of coming or something.
Or the threat of war.
Yeah, it was an actual war. It was the threat of war.
Right.
The position that they're in is that they either the Lion are constantly quote unquote stealing their land through political means, saying that it's actually Lion territory, guys. It's not your territory, but it's obviously Kirin territory, and that's kind of why like they're attempting to also do the marriage, because they want to stop the threat of the Lion fighting them. Because they want to try to show that, hey, yeah, we're totally peaceful. We're definitely, cool with you guys and stuffs. Yeah, right? We can all get along.
And the traditional way to secure peace, marriage.
Yes.
But,
even if it means that you have
it's
to
also
be
traditional way.
first.
It's another traditional way of making peace: beating your opponent.
True. Which I think the Lion would be all too happy to do in this case.
I'm gonna say, if I have to root for a side, though I love the Lion, I definitely want the Unicron to win.
Yeah.
We shall
I
see.
like horses. I like the horses.
Yeah, things don't go so well because as you find out, the Yakoma have a tradition that the unicorn didn't know about.
Yeah.
Yeah, a quote unquote tradition. I have my theories. We'll get into some. So I'm just going to say spoilers from here on out, and stuff might play out differently than it did in the old storyline, obviously, and I
Right.
kind of hope it does. So, Altan Sarna, I believe that's her name. I don't know that that's how you exactly pronounce it or not.
Altan
Uh,
Sinai is how I'm pronouncing it. So
She was I thought she was pretty neat. I've talked a lot about how I want to see stuff that's different, and I like this fiction a lot because it gives us a lot of stuff that's different.
Yeah.
The unicorn are immediately, like, completely as a whole, like, super Gaijin influence, whereas back in the day, the Shinjo are still kind of, like, Rokugani in a sense. They still use, for the most
Yeah.
part, katana and stuff like that. They were just more the happy-go-lucky, we want to help the peasants in the lowercase kind of thing. That was their whole shtick in the clan war.
Some of the older fictions from AEG, and this is just again from what I remember, they never really stood out as really Gaijin. Like they had Gaijin stuff, but they never really felt outside influence. And I like this story a lot because it makes it feel very different. Like, oh, they're unicorn, they're part of Rokugan, but they're this.
Yeah.
Okay.
She comes out very Moto to me. So
I
Yeah,
am
all about
I'm
the
a little
curved sword,
sad,
the different
actually,
stuff.
with all that.
Yeah, because I know you're a Shinjo fan.
Yep.
So, what I'm hoping happens, and she's obviously replacing Shinjo Yokatsu from the old game, who basically had no personality other than that he was secretly a Kolot.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, so we're keeping the same children. So I hope that we just don't do the Kolot thing at all.
Yeah.
That the Shinjo stay in power and the Moto stay like one of the vassal banner families.
Yep.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Because I like the Shinjo a lot. They're my favorite unicorn family.
Even though Meta is a Kolot.
I am a Kolot.
You meant Coca-Cola.
What do the heavens do?
Guys? I'm
What
just
do they
saying.
do?
What do they do?
Exactly.
No, I agree. I like the Shinjo a lot. I think the only other family that I probably like more than Shinjo is Utaku, but that's because Utaku is just very distinct on what they
Yeah.
are to me. So,
Yeah.
So
but I like Shinjo.
where it could be bad, it is a bad turn if they are Kolot, because it makes me worried because she has her children that she has with Yuchi Dayu are all the same children that were of Yokatsu. So we have Shono and the one who marries Oushi. I can't remember his name for right now for some reason. Yasamura. And there was one other whose name, the female one, that I can't remember. So if she ends up being like a Kolot in the end, then it feels more just like change for change's sake, like Hotaru, which I hope they don't do. And the fiction's making me think it's not going to go that way.
I agree with you. I really hope that these changes lead into something more than just change for the sake of change. I want it to be something different. I want it to be keeping akin to what the story was, like the major parts of it. But this is a chance to kind of look back at what were some of the bad things and to probably potentially rectify them, or at least try something different that might be better, as opposed to just rerunning the old script.
Yeah, and it's fitting that they kind of do that with the unicorn, because that's one of the central themes of the fiction, is that they need to bring change to the empire and stuff. And I think it would be fitting that obviously this fiction is the one where we get the most change from the past.
Yeah,
thing.
I think they said way back at the start, maybe the first live or something even, that they were going to go a lot more in on the Gaijin themes of the unicorn.
I'm really glad for that.
Yeah.
I want to actually add on something here because before we forget about it, but the distinction of change and the direction and the goal of what the Unicorn Clan is, by the way, is probably one of the most solid things I've seen for the clan.
Yeah.
I think it actually does even better of explaining really what their major goals are and what they do for the Empire, as compared to the RPG books and the like from the old from 4th edition.
Yeah, and at this time they feel like they have a purpose too that's kind of driving the clan's goals forward. We want to kind of institute the change and like get rid of tradition that we feel holds the Empire down.
Exactly.
So,
Sounds a lot like Kolot.
well, they don't want to overthrow the Emperor and replace him with someone descended from mortals.
Of course. That's true. We don't know yet.
But
But
they haven't made that decision yet.
they haven't made a
So-
decision. But But I agree. But I get what you're saying. It's like I really like the fact that there is a very clear goal to what they are. It's not just go outside the Empire, find out some cool stuff, bring it back, and maybe we'll do it. The Unicorn are like, we were sent out here so that the Empire could face enemies from not only inside but outside and be ready for them. That is what our job was, and now we need to implement that.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see how much. I guess. I mean.
Yeah.
They say that's their goal, but they've been there for 200 years and haven't really acted upon it more than they already are, right? So
we've got a lot of Zuko's across the map there.
Well, I guess now is the time to do it when the game starts.
When the game starts.
Because the story says so.
Shh, Mal, you're ruining my continuity.
Yes, that would make complete sense, Mal, but sadly I think
that might
they're just going to be like, well, we're starting the story here, so I guess this is when it's going to start happening.
They really wanted to hammer the theme of compassion too, with the unicorn valuing that the most, leading to some nice samurai drama. Yeah,
I actually like that. This is, by the way, this was what we taught when I was talking about the Shurido, when I brought that up and we talked about things we didn't like, and I was talking about how I didn't like Shurido. This is exactly what I was talking about. This was fantastic samurai drama because it was the difference of love and duty, compassion, and what is expected from traditions. That's the conflict of going between like why Bushido is so tough. And I love that it feels it was really well represented here.
Yep, they did a great job with it. I like that Altan Sarnad isn't even married to Dayu. She just has children with him, and no one thinks twice about it among the unicorn.
Well, they said it's because it can be complicated to have two daimyos or whatever married.
Yeah, which I mean has happened before. So I found that part kind of like a little bit head scratching because you basically just give up your family, and the next in line will assume the daimyoship.
That's what this whole thing was also about. So
yeah, exactly. So I think it's more complicated when it is different clans. Because, like we saw at the end of the storyline with Nalish and the Miramoto, oh my god, I can't remember his name. The Miramoto daimyo. Shike.
Shike, that's it.
With Nalish and Shike, where basically, like, a war almost started because of that, because neither wanted to leave their clan behind. So, it was it almost feels like it should be more easy to do interclan, but I don't know.
You don't make the rules, man.
Yeah, I don't make the rules. Also, like Kamiko in this fiction a lot because if you know anything about her character from the old game, then you can understand why she wants to fight the line so bad, and would push her champion. Her mother, who in the RPG she had true love for, was murdered by a lion general named Matsuaga Toki, and she wants revenge against him.
Vengeance.
And she basically, like, in the old story, defied the clan a lot to basically go chase him around the Empire and try to kill him.
So you're telling me that she kind of got, like, the Batman treatment?
A little bit.
Because, I mean, that sounds like the Batman treatment.
Harutoki, where are you?
I'm nowhere to tummy pads.
Yeah, exactly. What makes you different from me, Kamiko? What makes you think you can come out here and do this? I don't wear a kama. Oh my gosh. But yeah, so I liked that it was a nice little Easter egg to people who knew about Kamiko, because you go, I know why she's doing this. Why does she care so much? Like, about, like, her champion being married off to a lion. Well, she has a good reason if this stays the same. So, I don't know. It was just really good.
The lion sure seemed to be in the thick of things with a few clans now.
I'm betting. Yeah. I think there's two sides involved with this. I bet the Scorpion might be the one who arranged this marriage.
Yeah, I've seen that theory.
And maybe the Crane are the ones who want it to be broken apart, because if a war starts between the lion and the unicorn, then obviously the lion aren't going to be super concerned with Toshirando.
Right. Well, yeah, because the Scorpion and the Crane are kind of allies with the unicorn. Because the Crane are the ones who had to help them get back into the Empire through the old contracts or whatever. And the Scorpion view them as, like, an easy ally to manipulate since they don't know the ways of Rokugan.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So that whole thing about the Akoma tradition could have been a lot of Scorpion made up. We never know.
Nope.
Have no clue.
Well,
but-
the tradition was just that the female takes the male's name.
Exactly.
That was the tradition they were talking about.
Yeah.
Yep, they could have made it up, maybe.
Although I like it's kind of weird
The
though
Empire,
because
besides with the Moshi and the Utaku, I think for the most part that's just baseline for Rokugan.
yeah, I was gonna say like, isn't that the normal though? When you're marrying into the new family, you take the family name. That's how it was presented. And
Yeah, I think it's usually whoever has the higher status.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it's whoever has the highest status. But when you
It's
marry
almost,
into it, you
as
take
far
that
as I
family
know,
name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but as far as I know, it's never a always thing, except
Yeah.
Matsu.
I think the Matsu and the Utaku and the Moshi, the male always took the female, but there's a couple families where it's always female takes male, and I want to say Ikoma's always been that way.
I don't recall.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't. I think some of them it doesn't even matter anyway because they don't marry out. Like the Utaku battle maidens never marry out. You have to marry.
Yeah, they don't. Their women do not marry out. Period.
Yep.
Like you could go, hey, the emperor wants to marry you. They probably say no.
Yep. We'll fight. Yep.
Yeah, we'll commit seppuku, and then it just won't happen
Right.
because literally Otaku told us not to.
And the Shinjo always marry out. I think.
There'd be
Also
no
say-
Shinjo, Mal. How would
Or
there be
something
Shinjo?
about. Trying to remember, there was something about marriages, and like they kept really accurate marriage lines because there's something about not letting the bloodlines mix. So they'd go back like far to see when the last time a Shinjo would have entered the bloodline or something like that. I can't remember though now off the top of my head.
I know there was stuff with that involving the Moto around Winter Court, but
Yeah, I was gonna say, I
Yeah.
think that's Moto.
Maybe.
that was because of the whole like curse thing going on.
I know Yogo does something similar as well for
Yeah,
their curse.
because of the curse. You want to keep
Curse.
track of those Yogos who haven't broken their curse to marry off to your enemies.
Right.
Yogo Jojo.
Yogo Junzo.
Yogo Jinzo.
I hope he's back. Please be back, Yogo Junzo.
I don't know who he is.
We need
but
you.
Sounds like a great name.
He
He was the one that opened most of the Black Scrolls
He's
to
a-
allow Fu Ling to return.
He's a great character.
Oh.
Him and Kuniyori together formed the vanguard of Fu Ling's forces in the original story.
He lost his shit when Shoju died, basically.
Yeah.
He went, I'm going to start opening these Black Scrolls. And then he did, and bad stuff happened.
And then he did it.
He was honest.
I'll do it. I'll open the Black Scrolls.
You
No,
start-
He's a man of his word.
Yeah.
A scorpion never lies.
Interestingly enough, Kamiko ended up trampling him to death, so there you go.
Ironic.
Is it?
I don't know.
Yep, so glad that Ree's back on board. I really liked the Unicorn Fiction. It was the one where I was like, this could be really boring. But I was pleasantly surprised. It's if not tied for my favorite, so.
I gotta probably say this is gonna be my favorite. I really like the Phoenix, but so far the Unicorn has been my preferred fiction.
And we'll get the Scorpion one like the day before Gen Con starts. So,
Is that right?
yep, 2 weeks from
Yep.
today.
It'll be on
So-
Wednesday. I'll be driving. I will be.
Yeah,
I won't even be able
I'll
to read
too.
it.
I'll pull over on the side of the road and read it probably.
Just pull over the side of the road.
Not on like the interstate, but like when you.
No, on the interstate, you'll just park your car in the middle of the highway, and then.
Oh God, the Scorpion Fiction's out. Swerve across like 5 lanes of traffic, get hit by a transfer truck somewhere in Kentucky.
Actually, no. Scorpion Fiction should be out next week, and then the week after we'll get the
Next
Scorpion
week would
cards.
be Unicorn cards.
Yep.
Oh, you're right.
Or
yeah,
this,
sorry,
or this
totally-
week when people
I
are
totally
listening.
forgot about unicorn cards. Wow.
And then Scorpion cards, as predicted, come out during the tournament or something after the tournament. So no one knows what the Scorpion are going to be playing with
Yep, pretty much.
until you literally have the boxes.
It's actually aptly fit for it.
Yeah.
I assume the Scorpion one will sort of like start tying the large story together.
I would
If
think so.
They are going to do one main story at least, or maybe they're going to just have kind of smaller stories between a few clans.
Maybe.
But I'd assume they'd want to start off with all 7 clans involved in one event.
Yep. I'm curious to where the story's going to go from here and what the big storyline choice is going to be. And speaking of that, we don't know what it is yet. Guess we'll get into organized play, which FFG revealed some details about for both some of the Kote stuff that's going to happen with the metagame and also some of the smaller tournament kind of things for like the starter kits. So
big story choice is going to be ramen or yakisoba.
Udon.
Udon. I agree. I'm with Mao.
Takoyaki all the way.
Oh, it's not the choices.
It's not even. It's not even a noodle.
The choice is always udon.
Or
You can have
soba.
anything you want so long as it's udon.
Cold soba.
I do not like cold soba.
I love it. But anyway.